Poverty hurts. I don't like it. And I don't like that our academic system is so corrupt. So it's one of the most important messages I have from entrepreneurs is that failure should inspire you to get smarter. Don't let failure ever stop you. Use your brain, use your creativity. And unfortunately, our school system says if you fail, you're stupid. That is not true. So the lesson to young people is don't take a job for the money. Take a job for what you're learning. In school, they compensate for risk by telling you to memorize the right answer. So in other words, these kids leave. Young people like you leave school thinking, oh, if I know the right answers, then there's no risk. And it drives old guys like me crazy. We learn from our mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities to get smarter, be humble, and take a look at something. Millennials are the most highly educated. They know all the answers, but they're afraid of doing anything. Robert Kiyosaki is a well-known writer, investor, and business owner who became popular for his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In the book, Kiyosaki shares his own story of growing up with two dads. His real dad, a very educated college teacher. The other, his best friend's dad, a self-made rich man and business owner. Robert saw that even though his dad worked hard and was dedicated to his job, he had money problems and could not give his family the life he wanted. In contrast, Rich Dad, who did not finish college, was able to create a successful business and gain a lot of wealth. Success is not easy, especially when schools do not teach the basics of business and money. But you have two choices. Use that as a reason to stay uneducated, or change your thinking, be open to new ideas, and learn how to be successful. The most important thing is to change the connections in your brain. Your heart guides your brain. When I talk to someone who thinks like an employee, they say they want job safety. They want a good retirement plan. Do they get health care? That's how they think. I can't help them. They need to change their thinking. The economy happens between this year and next year. That's where it all takes place. And in your heart and your gut. I started playing Monopoly when I was 9. Everyone plays Monopoly, but I do it in real life. For greenhouses and one red hotel tax. If you really want to get rich, you must learn to sell, use debt, and avoid taxes. That's the game. Kiyosaki saw that there's a gap between rich and poor, and that regular schooling and jobs don't always lead to money freedom. What does school teach about money? Nothing. Our school system is old and does not cover topics that would really help students. Money and taxes might not be as fun as science classes, but knowing about them is really useful for students as they grow up. In today's world, especially in America, there's a big gap between the rich and everyone else. I understand how the rich think because my rich dad taught me, saying you know it because you're the banker. The way bankers and the rich operate is different from what schools teach you. That's the main idea of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My poor dad had a PhD, but to me, it means poor, helpless, and desperate. He didn't know much about money, yet he was teaching our kids. My rich dad was a business owner who didn't finish school. The pieces of my life started to make sense. I often ask people around the world what school teaches about money, and the answer is nothing. This isn't a mistake or an accident. I knew that, and most people know that too. The way to keep the poor and middle class working hard is to not teach them what the rich know. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was published in 1997, it shows what the rich teach their kids about money, which the poor and middle class do not learn. Many of us who have not learned about money likely believe one thing. Debt is bad and should be avoided. There are many stories of people who have maxed out their credit cards and can't pay them back. Many people also have student loan debt while trying to get an education. These people then spend much of their lives trying to get out of debt. However, there is good debt and bad debt. It can be a strong tool for those who know how to use it. That is a hard word for most people. Many people share my views, and some financial experts say to live completely debt-free. Others suggest cutting up your credit cards, which can be good advice for some people. If you struggle to control your spending, you should definitely cut up your credit cards. Think about income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. Debt fits into this. People often say, I'm going to buy a house. Amber claims her house is an asset, but that's not correct. Your house is a liability, even if you have no debt on it. The same goes for a car. A car is also a liability. Most people have a job, money comes in, they pay for their house, and the money goes to a bank through a mortgage. So, it's not an asset because cash is going out. A liability is something that takes money from you, while an asset is something that brings money to you. For instance, my rental property puts money in my pocket. When I rent a place, I've done a good job buying it and setting it up, and each month it gives me money. About debt, there is good debt and bad debt, and I think student loans are bad debt. The main reason it's bad debt is that it's the worst kind of debt. If I face problems as a business owner with debt, I can file for bankruptcy and start fresh. But with student loan debt, you can't do that. It stays with you for life. Most people have student loan debt, and that debt goes out like this. It doesn't put any money in your pocket. You might say, well, I have a job, but you're still working for it. I don't work for any of this money here. I do this job once, set everything up. Every year I keep adding more and more. I'm borrowing money from here. It comes here and goes this way. Debt can either help you make money or cost you money. The issue is you need to be smarter than the average person. If you buy a property and make a mistake, it can turn into a burden. If the tenant moves out, you lose money quickly. It doesn't matter if it's a boat, school loan, house, or car. It comes down to these two ideas. If money is coming into your pocket, it's an asset and good debt. But if money is leaving your pocket, it's bad debt. A key to success is finding a mentor nearby. Look for someone who has done what you want to do and is where you want to be. Their years of experience and many mistakes make them great teachers. They can't do the work for you, but having someone to help you will speed up your journey to reach your goals. She says if you want to be successful in life, you need to find good teachers. So when my dad told me to find my rich dad, I was following her advice. That's why we know Jim Rickards and Nomi Prince. They come from the inside, just like you, and they understand what's happening. They share this knowledge with everyone. Since then, I've made it a point to look for great teachers who have experience from the inside, not just outside. It's true that money runs the world. Whether you want to start a business or not, it's important for everyone to learn about money. We hope you don't think financial education is impossible just because schools often ignore it. Seek out financial knowledge yourself. Read books. Watch YouTube videos. The information is available. Focus on learning about money now, and your future self will appreciate it. Thank you.